My name is Eileen Dunlop and I have been a nurse since 1990. So I am now, 28 years in nursing. I have been working in the independent sector for 28 years. So I probably was one of those ones who back in the day got qualified, got our PIN number, and within 3 months was told with far too many nurses in the NHS, which was, wow, big changes from what it is today. So I then went and decided that if I needed a job, I had to go elsewhere. So I went into the independent sector, opened Yellow Pages, found a nursing home close by, rang it up and got a job in there. Walked in and said to the manager, I'm here and I'll be here for a wee while until I go back into the hospital. My plan was always going to do midwifery, but once I get in there, I have to say I absolutely loved it. 28 years later, still working in the independent sector, and I've been very lucky to say I love every single day of it. I've been a member of the RCN since I was a student nurse, so back in 1987. And I suppose I'd been a member then for 30 odd years, paid my money, did nothing else but just pay my fees. Thankfully, never needed to go to them for anything that required advice, but didn't use it as much as what I should have done. And I found myself advising nurses, and I thought, do you know what have I done about this? So I reflected on that. The nominations come out and said, would you be interested in becoming a board member? I read through it and thought, no, I won't have time. But then I thought, I don't have time not to. Because actually, if I want to make a difference, if I want to actually influence the changes that go on in the independent sector and be part of the person sitting at the table, I just thought it was time to actually put my money where my mouth was and say, right. So I wrote the application, probably thinking not too much about it. And here I am 4 years later and absolutely loving being part of the board. I've met a lot of very lovely people, but more importantly, I've met a lot of people who've worked in different sectors. And whilst they now know a wee bit about what goes on in the independent sector, I now know a wee bit about what they do. So for me, it's really important just to sit there. It actually doesn't take as much time as you think, to be quite honest. It is about giving a few days here and there, but there's also a lot of other things. So you don't have to give time. Sometimes it's about doing consultations, having a read at papers that are being written and just giving your opinion. I think it's not so much about time. I think it's people feel what they have to say isn't important. And I would say to them, it is absolutely important. It is so important for people to have your view because you are the member. You're the people who actually make the difference in the RCN, not the people who are sitting doing it. They can only do it if you give them the knowledge. So give up a little bit of time, that's all it is.
My name is David Fern and I'm an RCN Northern Ireland Board member. As a board member, I act as an advocate on behalf of all members. During my time on the board, I've learned so much, especially in relation to governance, political influencing, and it's also given me the opportunity to network with nurses both in Northern Ireland and nationally. I would encourage all members, whether you're a student nurse, a healthcare support worker or a registered nurse, to put yourself forward and stand for election to the Northern Ireland Board. It's your chance to become active as a member and also have a positive impact on nursing.
So my name is Audrey Harris. I'm Assistant Director in Emergency Medicine within the Northern Trust, so I'm based in the acute site in Antrim Hospital. I've been nursing from 1988, so 30 years celebrated this year within the nursing family. I spent the early part of my career working in the acute hospital site, and then I moved out to community, and up until last year I actually had spent 19 years in community nursing and worked my way up through the grades till I became the professional lead for community nursing within the Northern Trust. And I actually was very lucky to be awarded the Queen Mother's Award for Outstanding Achievement in community nursing. Although last year I decided I needed a new challenge, I felt that I had more to give and I felt that I needed to maybe be bridging my experience between the acute and community again. So I moved in, successfully applied and got the post of Assistant Director, which has been a really challenging year. I'm responsible for many services within the acute site, but I still have a direct responsibility for nursing. So it gives me the passion to keep going because I'm still involved with the nursing family. I joined in the centenary year, which was a marvellous year for the RCN, marvellous year for nursing, and I was actually encouraged by another senior nurse to apply for the board, which I did. Hadn't really thought about it before, despite the fact of being in the RCN from 1988. Again, 30 years I've been in the RCN, but never really thought about the board. And all I can say is to any nurse out there, it's really an opportunity to embrace. I've found, even after 30 years in nursing, the professional development for me as a nurse, as a leader, as a person, the ability to actually have strategic influence, political influence. I have learned so much through the RCN in the last couple of years that I've probably learned in the majority of my career. It has opened up lots of international contacts for me, and even in my own place of work, contacts that I've been able to use. And actually to see the work over the last few years in RCN really putting RCN and nursing on the map. So to me, it is about actually being able to give something. It's also about being an advocate for the members within the RCN. It's also about holding the RCN to account for how we do business and making sure all the governance arrangements are there. And it is actually about bringing that acute community expertise that I have to the board. But I would say to any nurse out there, it doesn't matter what your background is, everybody has something to bring to that table. And it's all about the members, and it's all about the future of nursing.